What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. I've been getting fuck tons of messages, emails, and even on my Instagram Live where people have asked over and over again, have I seen the video that Sarah Piana put out? Have I seen the video about fucking Chanel out in Vegas partying or whatever the fuck it was? You know, people saying stuff like Chanel, it seems like she's moving on too fast. She didn't really love Rich. And I'm like, whoa, let's fucking settle down for a second. First of all, I don't want to say that I'm going to give an unbiased opinion because Chanel's my friend. I have been in contact with her while Rich was sick. After he passed away, and periodically I still talk to her here and there. And I do think she has a big heart, and I think she's in a bad position right now. And that position being is she just lost her fucking boyfriend, her fiance. I mean, I hate to say boyfriend because it sounds like so fucking like childish, but she just lost Rich. And I think a lot of people are quick to judge and quick to assume based on how they think they would respond. Like, you may think, oh, I would be like this. First of all, you don't know how you would respond until you're in that fucking predicament. Now, if I was Chanel, the way that I would respond, I would not respond like her. I couldn't. I don't know how she's doing it, to be totally honest with you. She's in a tough spot because she's trying to keep the 5% legacy going with Jane. Now, those two are basically running the company, and they're trying to keep things afloat. They're trying to keep Rich's legacy afloat and keep it moving and not let it die with him. That's what they're doing, which is a lot of fucking work. Now, many people, myself included, you know, if I was in Chanel's case, I probably would have been like, you know what? Fuck this, I'm out of here. Like, you know, when Rich was sick, there were people breaking into her house. I mean, there's people trying to get a hold of her. There's fucking stories being written. There's videos being done. There's people putting their opinions. She's in a spotlight, even if she doesn't want to be in a spotlight. She's there. She's thrust into it. She basically has no choice. If she walks away, it basically lets the company down. The company that Rich loved, that he built, you know? So, you know, there was a video of her out in Vegas or whatever. Now, I'll tell you this right now. If it was me and I was in that predicament, I don't know how I would react, but I know I would not. I would have a hard time staying sober. I'll be honest with you. You know, if it was Aaron, I'd have a very hard time staying sober. And, you know, seeing her at the party or whatever it was, it doesn't make me go, oh my God, she didn't love him. Now, and the reason why I'm saying this, I've been through something before that I was wrong about, okay? I had a friend who died, and him and his wife were like estranged. They were, you know, separated, but, you know, still married. And it seemed like she was not only just keeping it together, but it almost seemed like she didn't care when he died. He killed himself, by the way. He committed suicide. They had 5 kids. And I remember thinking, like, she's so cold and she's so callous. And I saw her making, like, a video at the funeral. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with her? I'm like, she's so fucking nuts. Like, what is wrong with you? You're just fucking out of control. And I was so mad. And I didn't let her have it because I was just like, this is not the time. This is not the place, whatever. And it seemed like she didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? She barely cried. She just kept her shit fucking together. She was laughing. She was joking, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, wow, she didn't even give a fuck. What a cold-hearted fucking bitch, right? That's what I honestly thought. Until I was away at Junior Nationals and I got a text in the middle of the night of a picture of his gravestone, and she was at the grave. She would visit his grave after the kids went to bed because she didn't want them to see her upset. So she would go see it then. She would go and visit him. In the video she made, they had a 5-month-old son. And this son is not going to know pretty much his dad at all. I mean, he's 5 months old, right? And she was like, I want him to see how much people loved his father. Not me tell him, then have to take my word, but him to see it. Like the pallbearers at the funeral, the people that showed up. You know, she wasn't taking a video of him in the casket. She was taking a video of what was happening with us celebrating him and mourning him so that his son, when he grew up and he was old enough, could see that and be like, wow, you know what? My dad really was a great guy. It wasn't just a story that everybody tells because you feel obligated to tell your kid. It's real. And I kind of stepped back and I was like, shit, she's handling it like structured. You know, in a very structured way that makes sense, but it doesn't mean she's not a fucking mess on the inside. You know, like she was, you know, drinking and partying and doing stuff and going out with her friends. And I was like, well, how the fuck can she do that? Because she needed the mental release. She needed to fucking just get away. And I see Chanel, and I'm like, there's no fucking difference. You guys don't understand. Like, you know, Rich passes away. The next thing you need to do is get back to the house because people are trying to break in the house and steal his shit, which is pretty fucked up. Plan the funeral. Get there for the funeral, okay? And right after that, have this company that has all these employees and everything going on that are basically looking to you and Jane as to what's going to happen in the future. So you're kind of left, even though she's technically not officially like an owner of the company, she's a huge part of it. You know what I mean? She's like the other face. Rich and her were like That was it. I mean, although Martin is the face of the company now, Chanel is kind of like the unofficial face, whether she likes it or not. That's kind of just how it went. And not only is that happening, but, within 2 or 3 weeks' time, she's showing up at appearances because 5% is trying to keep afloat, trying to move on, trying to head in this new direction that they have. She's at appearances in Vegas, which, by the way, where she went to the appearance was the last time that Rich was in public at an event. Was at Super League at City Athletic Club. So she's back in the same place at the last place they were together when he did an event. And I'm sitting there going, this girl's been through a lot. Why the fuck anybody, and then, people make video after video after video about her. And I wouldn't say they're always slamming her, but they're criticizing her. Criticizing her for not acting a certain way, for not blinking a certain way, for not having her hair a certain way, for everything she does. If she blows her nose a certain way, she's being criticized for that because it's not fair to Rich. It's not right for the company. It's not, everything she does, she gets criticized for. And I think that the 5% is absolutely back her. They're behind her. Jane and her together are working tirelessly to try to pull this off, to make sure that this thing gets bigger and grows like Rich would have wanted it to. And I just think it's pretty sad that a lot of people out there will make videos about her bashing her. You don't know her. You don't know how you would respond. There are a lot of people like, oh, if my fucking girlfriend cheated on me, I'd fucking leave her. You know how many times that happens? About 50% of the time. The other 50%, that guy talking shit forgives the girl, stays with her, and she fucks him over again. But that's neither here nor there. You don't know how you're going to react until you're in that predicament. And honestly, my personal opinion, knowing her, knowing Rich, knowing what's going on, she's doing a great job. She's strong as fuck. I've talked to her on the phone, and don't think for a second that her mind isn't all over the place. All right? Don't think for a second that she isn't fucking constantly thinking about what could have been, what may have been, how things might have been different. Like, don't think for a second she's not mourning and fucking hurting because she's in the public eye. A lot of people are in the public eye and do shit where, myself, I mean, I wasn't in the public eye, but when I lost someone close to me, like my cousin, I mean, I couldn't do that. I couldn't even stand to look at my family, let alone be in the public eye. I went out in a fucking bender and decided that I was going to start a heroin habit, for Christ's sake. So, I mean, that's a weak person right there. I was weak as fuck. After when my father passed away, he was in the hospital dying. I was catching a flight out Monday. I was going to film a video for Primeval on Saturday. He died Saturday. He died that day. And I was like, I couldn't keep myself together for that hour to film the video. And I called Primeval and I called the videographer and said, I can't film it. I can't stop crying. I'm sorry. Like, I really, if I could stop crying, I would just do the video because he's gone. There's nothing I can do. It'll help keep my mind off it. But I can't because I can't stop crying. And I said, let's do this thing as soon as possible. And I was like, if we can do it Sunday, which was the next day after my father died, I was like, we can do it then. They couldn't schedule it. But my mind frame was, I have to stay busy because I can't sit around. When she goes home at the end of the night to that house, that's Rich's stuff in there. That's Rich's smell in there. Those are his things. Like, don't think for a second that her fucking world doesn't come crashing down around her when she gets home. Which is why I don't go back to Rhode Island a lot, because my world comes crashing down from my dad. Just because I don't walk around and cry every minute about my dad. I mean, don't get me wrong. Even at his funeral, it was hard to hold back the tears. The only time I really broke down and cried was when they played taps and they fired the rifles at his burial. Where everybody else was like, wow, he's handling it really well. It doesn't mean I was handling it well. It means I was trying to compose myself. Be strong for my mom. Be strong for my brother. Be strong for the rest of my family. Compose myself. That didn't mean I didn't fucking care. Doesn't mean I don't love my dad. Doesn't mean I don't miss him. And coming up on 5 days from now will be his 1-year anniversary of his death. And I know my mom is already upset. I don't know about my brother, but my mom is already upset. And I'd like to say, hey, that day I'm going to be okay because it's been a year and I've been able to, keep my composure. I don't know how I'm going to be that day. I don't know how my mom's going to be that day. But the bottom line is I can't judge anyone for the way that they act and the way they handle a situation just because it's not the same way that I would handle it or I could do it. So hopefully this can clear up a little bit of confusion, or at least give people something to think about before you judge someone else. Just because they don't do it something the way you want them to do doesn't even mean you would do what you want them to do in that predicament if you were there. BioStrengthTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostrength.com is the blog. It's Don't Judge Others Bicep, and we are out.